The Roar of Thunder, the story of Zenitsu Agatsuma. In a world shadowed by demons, our story often seeks the bold, the fearless, the unwavering hero. But sometimes, the greatest courage is found in the most unlikely of hearts. This is the story of a boy named Zenitsu Agatsuma. On the surface, Zenitsu was not what you would call a warrior. He was a ball of anxiety, a boy convinced of his own weakness, who believed his life was destined to be short and unremarkable. He cried, he complained, he tried to run from every fight. And yet, he never truly could, for within his chest beat a heart of pure gold, and in his ears he could hear the true sounds of the world, the sounds of lies, of pain, and of a kindness he so desperately needed. His salvation came in the form of a retired Hashira, a master of the thunder-breathing technique, the stern but kind Jigoro Kuwajima. Where others saw a coward, Jigoro saw a scared, abandoned child with untapped potential. He took Zenitsu in, not just as a student, but as a grandson. He gave him a home, a purpose, and for the first time, a family. Under the old man's patient, firm guidance, Zenitsu learned the way of the sword. Though he claimed he only mastered one technique, he perfected it. He became a single, breathtaking strike of lightning, a force of nature that could only be unleashed when his conscious fear was silenced. Jigoro saw that flash of brilliance and knew his boy was destined for greatness. Their bond was not just of master and student, it was one of love, of a grandfather's belief in his heir. But peace, like a clear sky, cannot last forever. A shadow fell over their small world, a shadow born from betrayal. Jigoro had another student, Kaigaku, who was everything Zenitsu was not. Confident, talented, and hungry for a power so dark, he willingly sacrificed his humanity to become a demon.
The code of the Demon Slayer Core is absolute. A master is responsible for the sins of his disciple. For Kaigaku's fall to darkness, Jigoro Kuwajima was held accountable. To restore his honor and the honor of his dojo, he was forced to take the only path left to a true warrior. He ended his own life. The kind old master was gone. His life ended not by a demon's claw, but by the disgrace of a boy he had tried to save. And when the news reached Zenitsu, the world shattered. The one pillar of strength in his life, the man who believed in him, was stolen away. This was not a pain that could be washed away with tears. This was a cold, sharp grief that forged a new resolve in Zenitsu's heart. He would not let his grandfather's name be disgraced. Adrift in his sorrow, fate then intertwined his path with another boy carrying a great burden, Tanjiro Kamado, a boy with a kindness so potent Zenitsu could almost hear it. Where others were annoyed by Zenitsu's hysterics, Tanjiro offered patience. Where others doubted him, Tanjiro saw a comrade worth trusting. In Tanjiro, Zenitsu found something he thought he'd lost forever. A true friend. A brother in arms. But his heart was about to be struck by a different kind of lightning altogether. It happened the moment he saw her. Nezuko, Tanjiro's sister. A demon who held onto her human heart. And for Zenitsu, it was love at first sight. In an instant, all his wailing ceased. His world, once so loud and frightening, fell into a sudden, profound silence. He didn't see a demon. He saw an angel, the most beautiful, gentle girl he had ever laid eyes upon. His soul, with its super hearing, listened to her silent, peaceful sound and found a home. This love, as dramatic and over the top as it seemed, became a new, powerful anchor for him. It was pure and unwavering. He had a friend to stand beside and a goddess to protect. And so, the boy who only knew how to run found his reasons to stand and fight. For the grandfather who saved him, for the friend who believed in him, for the girl who owned his heart.
He would take his single, perfect technique, and from the ashes of his grief, he would create a new one. A form born of righteous fury and a love that transcended death. The seventh form, Flaming Thunder God. This was the path of Zenitsu Agatsuma, the thunderbolt who finally found his courage. And his moment of reckoning came in the chaotic depths of the Infinity Castle. There, amidst the shifting walls and the cries of battle, he finally confronted the very source of his master's shame, Kaigaku, now a powerful upper-rank demon. This was more than a battle. It was a cleansing, a final rite for the grandfather he loved. As Kaigaku hurled insults and corrupted, hollow versions of the thunder-breathing techniques their master had taught them, Zenitsu stood firm. All his familiar fear was gone, replaced by a calm, burning resolve. He would be the one to settle the score. In a flash of divine orange lightning that outshone all of Kaigaku's hollow power, Zenitsu did not just use the first form. He unleashed a technique born from his own soul, forged in grief and dedicated to his master alone, the seventh form, Flaming Thunder God. With a single, glorious, and devastating strike, he cut down the betrayer, and finally restored the honor to Jigoro Kuwajima's name. So remember Zenitsu Agatsuma, not just for his tears, but for the strength he found to honor a father's love. Remember him not for his fears, but for the friend and husband he became, building a peaceful life with the family he created after the storm. Think of the abandoned boy, the grieving student, the terrified warrior who, against all odds, survived. His is a story that proves that the loudest cries often come from the bravest hearts, and that even a soul that trembles can hold the power of a roaring sky. He earned his happiness not through a lack of fear, but by facing a lifetime of it. And for that, he deserves all the peace that finally came his way.